Hey peeps, it's Brandy again. I know you're like, girl, 3 days in a row you had on the same thing, but I filmed all of them. Promise you I filmed all of these back to back, all on the same day. I told you guys I just went back to school. I just started back up in school, and it's crazy because since I've been in school, I have more time to um do this, to post more stuff. And I wanted to, since it's the first week of school and it's a short week, I wanted to make sure that I got as much down as possible so that I could start going into, what is it, Friday right now? I think that this one will be posted on Sunday so that I can, you know, yeah, because I have to go back to work tomorrow, and then Sunday I'm off again, but I have school stuff that's due. Yeah. So I'm trying to get as many in as possible. So on my last before I start, please like, subscribe, and share because I always forget to say that. Okay. The time right now is 6:13 p.m. on Friday, August 21st. Like I said, this one is probably gonna come up Sunday morning, I'm thinking. Um, yeah, because I'm trying to do them in advance. So, on my last video, I said something about um proving that it is possible that you are experiencing or are telepathic. You're experiencing telepathic communication, or you are actually telepathic. Now, not everyone is going to want to do this because, warning, once you open yourself up to it, you know. It's kind of like you just can't unknow how to do it. I mean, it takes practice, but you just kind of can't unknow. If you've been trying to hear your ancestors, your spirit guides, people are always like, "Oh, I'm communicating with my ancestors," and you have that one minister, many ministers, and they're up there and they're speaking tongues, blah blah blah, no blah blah blah, but at the same time they just be going, okay. And they say how God spoke to them. It's telepathic communication. They hear it, you don't hear it, but they hear what they hear, okay. So one of the things that I noticed was I kept hearing um a voice asking me, what did I eat for dinner? What did you eat? Right? Now, I ask my child that when I come home from work or she comes in, or I don't know. I don't know if it's a mom thing. Because my mom used to be like, what you eat? What do you want for dinner? Okay. So I don't know if it could possibly be my mother because when I was little, and when my child and her cousins were little, they used to get upset. They used to be like, Nana keeps calling us. And I'd be like, what do you mean Nana is calling you? And so they would be like, and I'm sure at some point, at least one person out there has had a moment where they heard their name being called and there was no one there. Or you're asleep and you hear your name, you sit up and say, huh? Huh? You're in the house by yourself. But somebody called your name. You're like, huh? More than likely, you're hearing like your parents' voice or your grandparents' voice, whoever raised you. Because for me, that's the only person when I was younger who could wait, huh? Huh? Okay? Because depending on how she was calling me, I might have been in trouble. I was always in trouble. And I was always in trouble. Right? So, yeah. The best way that I can say to do it, if you're not a person who meditates, um, lay down in a dark room, lay down. and or when you're just waking up or just going to sleep, and you get to that point where you're very calm and you're almost drifting off to sleep, listen, it's going to be really quiet. It's going to be like someone talking to you like this. It's going to be a calm voice, and you're going to be like, what the heck? Okay? But don't say anything. Listen to what it's saying. See, because I don't know, maybe this is a series of videos that I'm on. Not all the time what it is that you hear is good for you. Okay? But trust and believe, even if you consciously, oh, I'm sorry. I have a tendency to be sitting on my bed when I'm making these videos, and I move a lot. So the camera's like, sorry about that, guys. Um, so even if you are consciously not hearing it, subconsciously you hear everything. That's what subliminals, subliminals are. That's what subliminals are. So, and all of us have at some point experienced subliminals. The problem is that if you are unconsciously hearing these things are capable of programming you. Now, this could be music that you're listening to. This could be something that you read. Okay, this could actually be your self repeating. Oh, you see how you okay? You see what I'm doing? Nothing is for okay. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. Okay? Let's just put it let's just start with that. If you have been hearing things, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is something medically wrong with you. Um, during this day and age, a lot of people are coming into what I call gives spidey senses. You know, that spidey senses are activated. Um, and so they are hearing, and a lot of people are consciously hearing these things. And they're possibly scared. Oh, this eye is itching. Okay. They're possibly scared. And oh yeah. Yeah, see, this is a distraction. This is a distraction. But I'm telling you the truth. Okay? There are a lot of people right now who are waking up to spiritual gifts that they didn't know that they had. And one of them is telepathy. Telepathy is the ability to hear, this is my definition, hear audible sounds, voices, um, maybe even like most people consider telepathy to be just like a conversation. And it could be that, but I'm gonna touch on a little bit. Like I said, this is my definition of it because I believe it's clair audi not clairsentient, clair audi. It's like something like audible. Let me look it up because now we have like a trillion clairs, and you look them up and you'll be like, well, I do that. I can do that. I like one clair literally is the ability to taste. And before you say what, have you ever thought of your favorite food that maybe your mother or your grandmother cooked for you and you can literally taste it? Most people think they don't have gifts. Most people don't understand that these things are actually what will be considered to be psychic gifts. That is, let me see, what are the clairs? The clairs. I don't even think I'm spelling it right. That's maybe why it's not coming up. Um, the clairs list. Okay, so clair means clear. Okay. The four main ones are clairvoyance, which is the ability to see, clear seeing, receiving visual images, symbols, or visions in the mind's eye. Clairaudience is clear hearing. Okay. That goes hand in hand with telepathy. Perceiving inner voices, sounds, or words from a spiritual or intuitive source. That could also be the person that's standing next to you. Like, this person could be concentrating on you and like they're sending you messages. I mean, I had this friend when I was young. He was in the military, and whenever something was going bad, I used to think about him, right? And when I called and he didn't answer, I would be like, oh, thinking in my head, call me, call me, call me, call me. And he would call me every time he would call me. And I used to laugh and I would say, that's our psychic connection, right? But he's not the only person that I used to say that to. I used to say it to people. They'd be like, oh, I've been thinking about you all day. And in my head, I'm thinking about them too. And so I'm like, all day I've been thinking about this person for no apparent reason. I just been thinking about them. And so now they are they're on my phone or and they're like, I've been thinking about you all day. And I say, yeah, that's our psychic connection because I've been thinking about them too. So let's get back to the clickers. Um, so clairaudience, and it's literally audience, like group of people that's watching you, okay, or listening to you. Clear hearing, perceiving inner voices, sounds, or words from a spiritual or intuitive source. And like I was saying, that could be the person that's next to you, though, because soul to soul, you know, soul to soul, we can speak to each other. Before there was actual speech, there was telepathy. Okay. So, oh, let me tell you the other ones before I go on the other of the four, the main four, because there's like a lot of, well, there's eight, so I'll tell you the rest of the six. Okay, so clear sentience is clear feeling. Is That's when you can feel something on your or touching your skin. When I say that I can feel the energy of the air itself, like I'm pressing my hand up against a wall, it feels dense to me. Okay? That's just me. Not everyone has that ability so intensely. Okay, so sensing the physical sensations, energy, or clairsentience is also the emotions of the people in the environment around you. Those are your people who are empaths. Okay, not empaths can be other things, but most people when they think of an empath, they think of a person who is actually they can feel the emotions of the people around them. And that one is a hard one, even for me, because sometimes you don't realize that that's not you. You're having this whole conniption fit. Okay, the fly. You're having this whole conniption fit, and you have to sit back and be like, hold up. That's not mine. You need to return that energy back to that person. I found that simplest way is Return to center, return to center, return to center. I say that 3 times and it normally goes away. I have had it where it came back. So then I feel like that person is intentionally sending that to me because I sent you your energy back and you sent it to me immediately back again or within a couple of minutes back again. I, this, but at the same time, this could be like something going on with my child. Somebody's messing with my kid. And so that could be my ancestors, my spiritual tribe is what I'm going to call them. It could be any of them. And so they're like, yo, my people, like somebody's messing with our baby. Our baby is a college student, soon to be a college graduate. But my people are like the baby. That's what they refer to her in life. That's what they refer to her in death. She's the baby. She's not even my mom's youngest grandchild anymore. Okay, but they refer to her as the baby. That's what I see my grandfather. So, oh, the screen locked so fast. Okay, so the next one is claircognit claircognizance. It's clear knowing. That's me. Since I was a little kid too. Experiencing a sudden absolute understanding of a truth or event without a logical explanation. I remember telling people when I was young, I would go up to them and say, "You're pregnant," and they'd be like, "I'm not pregnant, girl. You tripping?" And I'd say, "I had a dream about you last night." And in the dream, you were standing in a field, and in this field, you had baby butterflies flying all around you. People, there is no such thing as baby butterflies. Okay, some people be like, I had this dream and it was about you. I saw fish. No, I don't see fish. I see baby butterflies. There is no such thing as a baby butterfly. A butterfly comes out of the chrysalis as a butterfly. It goes in as a caterpillar and comes out as a whole adult butterfly. So there's no such thing as a baby butterfly. But for me, I see these tiny little butterflies around this person and I know that that person is pregnant. And I have never been wrong on that. Never. Went to my sister's house and I couldn't tell her who was pregnant. I hadn't seen her in years. I went to her house. No one was there but me and her. She made me a fantastic dinner. And I said to her, somebody in this house is having a baby. And she was like, not in here. I was like, somebody is having a baby. And she was like, because she had at the time, well, she has 2 daughters and a son, but she had 2 daughters that was older. Her son was kind of young because I think he just graduated high school. So, and this was maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, about almost 6 years ago. Because my niece just turned 5. Anyway, she was like, not here. And she's talking about they better not be pregnant. Talking about her daughters, right? And yeah, come to find out it was her. It was her. 6 months later, she announced that she was pregnant. It was her. When I told her she was not pregnant, though, that is the truth. She was not pregnant when I told it to her. All these hands are dry. But she, 6 months later, announced that she was having a baby. Ironically, her child's name is so close to my child's name that when my baby went on a cruise, they kept calling her baby, and my baby was like, "What about me?" the whole time. So, yeah. What's the next one? I think I'm still on clear cognizance. Um, no. Okay, so the next one is clear alliance. I believe that's how it is. Uh, clear alliance is clear smelling. How many times have you actually smelled food? Like one day my parents were coming to pick me up from my job, okay? And I knew, see, I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, land of the cheesesteak, okay? I could smell cheesesteaks. I told the people at my job, I was like, you smell that? Smell cheesesteaks. They like, girl, no. No. I was like, I smell cheesesteaks. You don't smell that? And they were like, no. I was like, man, that smells good. Okay. My parents pulled up outside my job with a cheesesteak for me and my daughter. Okay. So clear smelling, detecting scents or odors that have no physical source. I was at another job when I lived in California, and I'm sitting outside talking to a friend of mine, and well, my brother from another mother, okay, my oldest brother, okay, from another mother. He sits there, and we're both sitting there at the same time at a table, and I'm smelling um cantaloupe and honeydew like it's in front of me, and I'm sniffing it, up close. I'm like, you smell that? He starts sneezing. And I mean, uncontrollably sneezing. That wasn't meant for him. That was meant for me. And man, it smells so good. It smells so good. I hadn't had any type of melon in so long. I was like, and where we were, because I drive buses, we were at the bus yard. There was no food around us, and I'm smelling fruit, and he's sneezing so hard. And so, yeah, that's a thing. Uh, clear gustance. That is, we just talked about this. Clear tasting. Experiencing a distinct taste in your mouth without physically eating or drinking anything. Grandma's pot roast. No, no, no. Grandma's fried chicken. Not well, yeah, the fried chicken was good. The fried fish is what I meant to say though, but what came out is fried chicken. Trust and believe I don't say anything for no reason. So clearly somebody wants it to be known that grandma's fried chicken is what they would imagine when she wasn't there. Okay? Um for me, is my mom's meatloaf. When I was a kid, between that and that daggone pot roast, man, yeah, mom, mom, mommy, mom, pot roast. Okay, so, um, there's the next one is Claire Tangience, which also comes up as psychometry. It's clear touching. We talked about this too already. Clear touching, gaining intuitive information about an object or a person by touching them. When I say that we talked about it, we touched on it, but like let's say you go to someone's house and you touch a vase and suddenly you just start thinking about something just off the wall, and that vase belongs to someone's grandmother or something, and but she gave it to the grandchild. And so the grandchild asked them, yeah, so Brandy said that she touched the vase and she saw this. And come to find out, grandma know what that is. Grandbaby may not know what it was, but grandma's like, yeah. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. This happens a lot more than you think. People just don't people just don't actually say anything about it. We have these little things that just pop up in our mind like all the time. You think I'm hungry. What pops up in your mind? Fried shrimp. Okay? These things pop up in your mind. Like you're like, I'm hungry. What should I eat? especially if you ask an actual question and then you get something that pops up in your mind. Oh yeah. Yeah. Most people just don't see it that way. But you've been working, if you've had that going on your whole life, you've been working with at least that one Claire your whole life. And these Claires, the Claires are what used to be considered psychic gifts. Now they have them all separated. At it used to be you were just psychic, you know. Now they're like, oh, you have this, you have that. Oh, they broke it down. They're always doing it, just the extras, just the extras. Okay, so the last one of the eight is clear empathy, clear emotion, a specialized form of clairsentience focused specifically on picking up remote or energetic emotional states. All right. If you are a person who is extremely sensitive to the energy of the people around you, then you know what you are. And if you don't know what you are, clear empathy. That's what you got. There's nothing wrong with you. That's just what you have. You just need to learn how to distinguish your emotions and your energy from someone else's. And like I was saying before, if you find that you're just going off for no reason, you're going off for no reason is not no reason. It's someone else's reason. And you don't need to have to deal with someone else's reason. Um, there's all kinds of things that you can do if you're into like candles. You can sage your area, but if you are out and about, one thing that I have noticed is that excuse me, coming out, it's coming out. One thing that I have noticed is that what is this stuff that I'm trying to say? It's really like being blocked. So I'm going to say the stuff that is in Vicks Vapor Rub, the stuff that is in mm, mm, mm. What is the name of it? And I'm looking at a bottle of it from a distance, and I can't tell you what it says. Um, it's the main ingredient beside camphor. Camphor is what it is. Camphor helps. Some people get like the little camphor blocks and they like basically like they're warding their doors and the whole bit to keep energy out. They're warding around their like a protective barrier around their windows with the camphor. You can actually take Tiger Balm, since Tiger Balm is an ointment, and you want to put it on the back of your neck. Put it on the back of your neck, okay? Before going out. That is something that will help you to keep other people's energy from bombarding your body. Because they seem to come from the back, from the neck, okay? It's something that with the neck. But I don't want to get into that. I'm just going to say it's something with the neck. It's coming from there most of the time. Because that's something a little bit deeper than I want to get into right now. Um, back to telepathy. Get into a state where you're calm and just listen. And by doing that, if you are, I have like ADHD or ADD, it's harder for you to calm your mind. That's why. Um, It's like I should just say it like that, but that's one of the reasons why you have the ability to hear, but you may not have acknowledged that you can hear in that way. Um, you remember me in the beginning of this, I was saying that the children in my family, they would be upset because my mother, they said she keeps calling them. And she was actually calling them. And to this day, she'll say no, she wasn't, but she was because she would do it on purpose. She would be sitting like in the living room and they would be playing, and she would like in her head, she would keep saying our name and then they would come out. And it was like, I feel like at that time she was practicing to see if she could actually do it because she used to do that to me when I was little. And I didn't actually hear her voice come out her mouth, but I would hear her voice and it was clear as day. And I would say, "Did you just call me?" And she would say, "No." And then she would laugh. And then I would leave and I'd be like, "Did you just call me?" And she would laugh harder and be like, "No, I didn't. Go play." And then it would stop. So it was hard. I know that it was hard, mostly because she would laugh after she did it. She did that to the kids so much that they ignore her now. Now I got a younger niece, but I don't know if she do that to her. But even my younger niece come and say, "Nana, did you just call me?" And she be like, "No, okay." But it is her. I do know it's her because one of the first voices that I ever heard was her. Okay. And I mean, that I recall, the second voice that I recall clearly was my grandma. After she passed, she told me to tell my uncle that it was in the basement. So whatever he was looking for was in the basement. And I remember I didn't have his phone number. And I told my mom, I said, "You need to call Uncle Greg and let him know that Grandma Pat said it's in the basement. Whatever it is that she wants him to find or whatever it is he's looking for, it's in the basement." And so she said she did. I don't know if she did or not. Like, as far as I was concerned, I passed the information on to someone who could pass the information on to him. And so I stopped getting that particular message. Um, when you're capable of getting yourself into a calm state, if you have ADHD, you're already hearing them. You just haven't had the ability to calm your mind enough where it goes quiet. So my suggestion is learning how to meditate. Um, but you can do it in those few moments before, just before you go to sleep, or just when you first wake up, before the traffic comes back and the noise, the you know because I've experienced it where it feels like you wake up and it's quiet. And then it's like rush hour traffic just rushes towards you, and everything is like loud and just constantly going, and there's stuff going every which way, and people are just like, all of these voices. That that is, I'm pretty sure how, and I don't have ADHD. I don't have ADD. I never had it. I was like a calm kid, to be honest. So that is how um I feel like that is how someone with ADD or ADHD, how, because in those moments, though, in those moments of calm, listen, do you hear a voice? Because, what time is it? Because I think I'm running out of time. There are times where I noticed that if I don't think about what it is that I'm trying to say before I say it, I am literally repeating word for word what it is that I was hearing here until I became conscious of the fact that that is a whole separate something else. I became conscious of it because there were things that I was hearing that are not my opinion. I was like, no, that's not what I want to say. And I realized that a lot of us are running on that where, and I'd like to thank you, Mom, because when I was little and I was very, I was saying things that was, it wasn't just that it was inappropriate for my age. I was saying things that I shouldn't have known anything about, right? And so my mom, she used to be mad. Like one of the reasons I used to be in trouble a lot is because my mom, she would say to me, and I remember, like this woman was cussing me out. I don't know what I said to her, okay? But she said to me, "Do you think about what you say before you say it? Or do you just let anything fall out your pie hole?" Like, and she kept saying to me over and over, and this is programming. This is what she was doing was programming me. She said, "You need to think about what you say before you say it." Because of that, instead of going on the chatter that I hear in the background, I would think about it and I stopped mimicking what it is that I was hearing. The thing is, and I mean, I was little when she was mad. I don't know what I said, but I know there was times when she was like, "This little girl, she thinks she's the adult and I'm the child." I know she because she say it now. She say I act like that right now. Like my mom don't like it when I stay at her house too long. She don't tell it to me, but she don't like it because my personality is so big. I take over the household. I know I do. I know I do. My sister calls me mini mommy, and I'm taller than my mom. I've been taller than my mom since I was 10 years old, but she's always called me mini mommy. Okay, I'm the other mom. I'm the other one that raised her. Okay, we're not even 5 whole years apart, but she calls me mini mommy because I've been when I was young, my mom was sick, and I had to do everything, and since then, it's like I took control of the household in my own way. And when I gave it back, I was an adult. And so every time I go over there, it's like the mother-in-law coming over your house to visit. And everybody's like, "Oh, here she go. When is she leaving?" Okay? I know that's what it is. And I don't complain about it anymore. I used to be like, "Why they treat me like that?" But now I'm just like, I stay in my lane and for the most part they stay in theirs. Um, yeah. What's happening here? I had something pop up on my screen. Anyway, my hands feel dry, my lips feel dry. I done washed with this daggone pine tar soap. Oh my god, I smell so bad. I smell so bad, y'all. But my skin feels good, but now it's dry. Yes, it's dry. I know I gotta keep doing it, but anyway, um, yeah, between waking and or going to sleep, it gets quiet. Just listen. Just listen. Because if you can hear it, you know how to speak. If you can hear it, you just prove to yourself that you're telepathic. Okay? There's nobody there, you know that you don't have any uh um mental disabilities. You literally just prove to yourself that you're telepathic and you're like, because your next thought should be, who the heck is that? Who is that? Is that you? Because quite honestly, I know that quite a bit of the stuff. Try to figure out what am I seeing as pink. I know that in the beginning, that was me. It could have been my mom. All I kept hearing is, "How was your day? What did you eat?" I say that to my daughter every time she come in the house. When I was little, my mom, when she would get home, if she wasn't in the mood, because I am part of Generation X, our parents was just on work, 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 or play, 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 play. She worked a lot. My dad worked a lot. My stepfather worked a lot. Okay? So if you hear, and another thing, if you hear, then you just proved it to yourself. Another thing, if you've been in an accident, like some type of near death experience, more than likely you are already experiencing these things. If you're telling me that you are not experiencing at least one, I'm not talking about just telepathy. You're not experiencing at least one. You're not sensitive to energy. You're not like not just one. I'm going to call bullshit. I'm going to say you're in denial because ain't no way. You literally just almost transcended and you're not experiencing any, no clairs at all. Not even taste, not even feel, not even smell, none of it. I'm calling bullshit. Because either you lied and said that you were worse than what you actually were, or you're in denial. And trust me, if you've been, I've had a near death experience that kicked some stuff up to me, and I didn't even get hurt. If you were hurt and you damn near died, you know what I'm talking about. You might be in denial. You might be in your Bible. You might be like, no, 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 Brandy, no. And I'm like, bullshit scheme, bullshit scheme. You experienced something, okay? Now you know. You're not the only one. You're not crazy. You just leveled up. You have moved back closer to what your spirit, your original being, what your original way of being, your original way that your soul, that your spirit, that your uh, I'm getting some negative feedback right now. Your soul, your spirit, your energetic body, you're moving closer to what you originally were, what you were supposed to be before you forgot, before you landed in the matrix, before um what's the other one? Before the veil covered you, before you got reconditioned in your new lifetime, because you got little kids up to the age, ooh, excuse me, up to the age of 5, sometimes older, okay, who remember past lives, who are willing. This one little boy took his parents to the house in the town that was not near where they were, was not in the same town that they were, to see his mother from his past life. Told her who he was, told her stuff that happened in his life, told her how he died. He had died 2 years prior. He came back to a new family. So that right there is telling you There are people who will tell you that you keep coming back to the same family. Not necessarily. Maybe the same soul tribe, maybe. But I'm gonna say not necessarily. Okay. We remember it when we're born, but we can't get the muscles in our body to work right to talk. Not immediately at birth most of the time. Although these new babies, these new babies, okay? My daughter, when she was 2, 3 months old, I would say, "What did you just say?" And she would repeat it the same exact way. And I was like, "What did you just say?" She go, right, and then she repeated the same exact way. My mother was like, "That baby talking to you. We just can't understand what she's saying yet." And she looked at my mom and she just smiled. She looked at me and smiled. Okay. I was like, "Hey, son, though. We got another talker in the family." And we do. Ooh, we do. All right, peeps. Again, like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. And I promise that it'll be a different day and I'll be wearing something different. All right. Have a good one. Bye.